Since Leeds came in with their big money offer, he's not been the same player. And I don't know whether that is an attitude thing or whether he's believing his own press a lot more now or what it is. Or it's just unsettled him.
Yeah, or coincidence, but it doesn't help, does it, when these coincidences happen, does it? Especially from the fan base. You latch onto, you want to explain why they're not doing what you expect them to do, don't you? You want an explanation that isn't just poor form. Yeah,
and a lot of people have suggested he seems very petulant at the moment.
Sarah, he's been very petulant for a long time.
That's just your tinted view. He's a good lad, really, is Jake. He's just a bit prone to having a few tantrums at the minute. Just needs to get his toys back in the pram and sort himself out.
Which was so? What was your favourite moments of this game then?
I mean, the Carlos try was nice. Long range try is always nice, but it was nice to see Snead back himself and score the try as well. I think for me as a whole fan, what's nice is seeing us scoring some long-range tries, because historically that's never been something that we've been great at in my time of watching the club.
Yeah, whereas this year it's been a totally different. I mean, Ratu Nulongo has been a big part of that, hasn't he? Because his pace is just ridiculous when he gets in flight. But yeah, you've had them. Griffin's been a big part of it too, as well. His power, then his pace as well.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't hit a gap and go. He needs to sort of wind himself up a bit more. Whereas Carlos and Ratu are a bit more explosive.
But you're scoring them from all over the long-range tries, which is, I guess, really exciting to watch. And a big part of why you are where you are in the table. And do you want to take us through how the table looks?
Yep, so St Helens lead at the top is now 14 points. The gap between them and second is the same as between second and bottom. Warrington are second now, only on points difference, with Hull FC alongside them on 30 points. Wigan have 28 and Salford are fifth on 26 points, thanks to a much better points difference than both Castleford and Catalans. Leeds stay 8th now on 20 points. Wakefield, Huddersfield and Rovers have 18 points, and London stay 2 points back in last place on 16.
So I asked David for his predictions last week. I think it's only right we ask you for your predictions this week. Who do you think are going to make those playoff spots, first of all?
It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because, a while ago you'd have said it was 1 and 2 that were safe, and anyone else was fighting for the other positions, whereas, Warrington now are only 4 points off being in 6th.
The points difference they managed to rack up from the earlier part of the season is crucial now for Warrington, isn't it? Really, at this stage, it feels like they've lost 4 in a row. They've only won 2 since the start of June in the league. Yeah. It does feel like that points difference is going to be a huge factor for them, because their points difference is plus 200 and odd, and Hull's is in the minuses still, and Wigan's is nowhere near plus 200 and odd. So yeah.
For me, you can discount Catalans from the top 5, partly because of their form, but also, they're on a minus 125 for their points difference. Saints, obviously. Okay, I'm going to be controversial. I'm going to go that the top 5 are going to be not necessarily. Do I need to give my order?
No.
Saints, Hull, Warrington, Salford, and Castleford.
Ooh.
Sorry. Did I say Warrington or Wigan?
You said Warrington.
I meant Wigan.
So you think Warrington might miss out altogether on the top 5?
I'm going for Warrington missing out.
Wow, with 4 games to play, I think effectively they have 5-point advantage over Castleford. I don't see Castleford or Salford winning. I don't see Castleford and Salford, winning 3 out of the 4 left. I don't see them both doing that. I think it will be Castleford in place of Salford, is what I'm going to stick with from last week. But I can't tell you which one of the sides is going to finish second at this stage. Certainly, if we beat Warrington this week, you're in the driving seat for that, so you'll be cheering Wigan on this week, I assume.
We will be, yeah. I mean, actually, having looked at the fixtures, we're playing Salford this weekend, so that will be a big one to see.
That's the thing. That's where I'm starting to see. Yeah, it's crazy. What about at the bottom then? We think Leeds are probably safe now. Their points difference is by far better than anyone else in the bottom half of the table, which is a big factor in us saying that, isn't it? Really, they're effectively 5 points clear of London rather than 4 points clear of London. So for Leeds to go down, London would have to win 3 of their remaining 4. That's unlikely. Where else do you see this one going?
Sadly, I think London still have Wakefield to play, who they've beaten twice already this season.
Last game of the season, isn't it? It's gonna be crucial, that one, potentially.
And penultimate match of the season, they've got Rovers away.
And they've got Leeds the week before that.
Right, yeah. And then, who do they have this week then? Oh, they were away at Catalans.
Away at Catalan, free-falling Catalans.
Yeah, it's so hard to call, because in one way I feel like London and maybe...
You sort of think they could win all 4 of them, but you also think they could win none of them, don't you? That's the problem with London,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean... I think it's going to be between London and Rovers.
I think it's going to be between London and Wakefield, but we shall see. I think London will still go down like that.
I sadly think that they will.
Stat line of the week. I've gone with Kristen Inu's numbers. 1 try, 11 tackle bust, which was the highest of that number this week. 178 metres.
Yeah, I think either him or Reece Martin.
Well, I've picked Reece Martin as my player of the week.
Okay, fair enough.
My explanation for that is it was a huge... every game is a huge game for these teams down at the bottom, and his performance helped his team to win their game. With a player down as well for large parts of it, his kicking was crucial, as well as what he did. His try was great. He had other good moments as well. I think the importance of the performance in the victory was why I'd give it to him over some of the other good performers this week. What about you?
Player of the... I'm going to go for Carlos.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think because you saw his performance, it does sound like he had a great game. Certainly. Highlight of the week, then?
Highlight of the week. I don't know, it was such a dire weekend, I feel. I'm going to go for Carlos's try.
I probably kind of gave this away a bit earlier in the game, but I'm going to go for the Makinson try, because although we've seen him do it a million times, it seems routine almost now. I just think, like we talked about, so many of the tries were preventable, and I just don't see how Warrington stopped this try. So it's Makinson's try from Wellesby's cut-out pass is the highlight of the week for me this week. In terms of predictions, Super ruined the Fantasy League. I was 6 out of 6 again last week, and so was David, who was co-hosting last week. I'm 67% for the season so far. Sarah, you're on 54 alongside Tim.
It's all gone wrong.
It was you were flying so high.
I know, all these teams let me down.
And Alan,
I'm a bit like Catalans in free fall.
Yeah, Alan as well is on 67. But in terms of the Super Brew, which I forget to do every week, Alan is top. He stays top of that competition. John Hamilton wears the yellow cap this week, so well done to Leeds fan John. In the Fantasy League, of course, Alan Bagley stays top. We don't get bored of saying it, Alan, but it happens to... it's just been all year. The best weekly score, though.
It's every year, isn't it?
It's been very consistent, hasn't it? Another person who's been very consistent over the years is the person who picked up the best weekly score, and that's 4th place in the table, Liam Reddington. He scored 695 this week. Thanks for all the people who got in touch with their views on the games this week. Make sure you look out for the Google form on Twitter for next week's games. If you don't use Twitter, get in touch with us by email or on Facebook, and we'll send you a link to the form so you can send us your fan views, because that really does make the show. We'll now move on to look at other results from around the world of Rugby League.
Okay. So it was round 24 in the championship, and it finished Widnes 12, Toulouse 28.
Yeah, we had a couple of people get in touch about this. Paul O'Brien, POB1976, is his Twitter handle. He said, awful performance from Widnes, no ideas in attack and poor in defence. And Mark Butler said, a bit of a honker from Widnes. It was a terrible start, although Toulouse didn't really cut loose, and the visitors ultimately seemed to stroll through the game as if there was no worry. It could have got interesting at 12-6 with half an hour to go, but Widnes never looked threatening enough to turn around, whilst Toulouse just kept it ticking over from there. Wins looking very hard to come by.
Yep, and it was Toronto 56, York 6.
Attilia Murphy got in touch to say, game wasn't ever a contest. Toronto broke the line at will and pretty much scored at will too. Maludi, officially the new fans' favourite, with a huge run in the opening set, multiple crazy offloads and a flamboyant try. Load management employed again in selection. The only problem is I couldn't tell you now who our first team is anymore because we were pretty flawless today.
It finished Barrow 22, Bradford 46, Batley 16, Dewsbury 10, Featherstone 66, Swinton 16, Rochdale 18, Lee 50, and Halifax 18, Sheffield 20.
Yeah, I don't understand why Rochdale Lee was on the R-League app. It just baffles me. In the standings, Wolfpack have a 12-point lead at the top. Toulouse and Lee both jump ahead of York. They move on to 34 points with York on 33. Featherstone stay 5th on 32. Sheffield remain in the hunt on 28 points, and Bradford have 27. Halifax, Batley and Swinton are all now officially safe. Dewsbury have 14 points, Widnes have 12, and Barrow have 9 in the battle for safety. It's not looking good for Barrow though, really. And Rochdale are already relegated.
Yep, it was round 19 in League One, and it finished Keighley 10, Hunslet 32, and North Wales 33, Coventry 16. Mark
Butler got in touch. He said, a dismally attended game in Wrexham, and it began as one for the purists, i.e. way beyond dull. A Jason Robinson sequel try for Coventry's Rhys Rance put a rocket under the game. Before long, they were 16-0 up and Crusaders looked rattled. An instep try before half-time turned the tide. Scores were level early in the second half, and while it took a little time to secure the game from there, Crusaders did the job.
Quite a turnaround then.
Yeah, come from behind effort from the Crusaders. I didn't realise. When I saw the scoreline on that, I just assumed kind of routine that they stayed ahead the whole way, but it doesn't sound like that, does it?
No. It finished Doncaster 23, London Scholars 22, Oldham 28, Newcastle 20, and Workington 66, West Wales 22.
Yeah, so in the standings, without playing, Whitehaven stay top on 26 points. Oldham are now second on 24 points, with Newcastle third on 23, and Hunslet fourth on 22, so it's still very close with, I think, 3 rounds left there. Doncaster and Workington complete the playoff spots. Scholars now have a 4-point gap to those above them, and lead North Wales by just 1 point as well, so North Wales are making a late, if unlikely, run towards the playoff spots. Coventry,
yeah, good for them.
Yeah, definitely. Coventry, Keighley and West Wales make up the rest of the table.
In the Women's Super League, it finished Bradford 18, St Helens 32, and Castleford 56, Wigan 8.
To which Fatboy Rob reprised a classic from the early season times here, Sarah. He said, cheats, hammer, cheats.
Yep, and it finished Leeds 52, Featherstone 0, Wakefield 4, York 20. And then it was round 21 of the NRL, and it finished Cowboys 14, Broncos 18, Warriors 24, Sea Eagles 16, Panthers 26, Sharks 20, Dragons 40, Titans 28.
Yeah, we had some big impressive performances for the Dragons from James Graham with 131 metres on his 400th game, and Gareth Widdop with 3 try assists, and Callum Watkins had 3 offloads for the Titans.
It finished the Eels 20, the Knights 14, the Bulldogs 18, West Tigers 16, the Raiders 18, Roosters 22.
Yeah, Josh Hodgson had 2 try assists and 40 tackles. Elliot Whitehead had a try. John Bateman had a try assist, 4 offloads and 112 metres. And Ryan Sutton returned from injury off the bench in this one as well for the Raiders, but no go against the Hall-less Roosters.
And the Rabbitohs 16, Storm 26.
Tom Burgess was the only one of the Burgeye to play. He made 127 metres in this game. In terms of the standings, the Relentless Storm sit top on 36 points. Next come the Roosters on 30, with the Raiders and Rabbitohs